obviously originally ruled it as a suicide, and then they reinitiated this review because I believe family members raised concerns which weren't disclosed to the public. And then an independent agency was asked to kind of re-examine things and just kind of provide full transparency, reassurance that the original finding was correct. So it doesn't mean that original investigation was flawed. It's just because it's a high-profile case. So what they would have looked at would have been the original reports, any of the autopsy materials. They would have. I know they interviewed some of the witnesses that were still around, the original investigators. I saw that they re-examined the scene. So some of the physical evidence was no longer available, just as far as retention policies. But I understand they looked at photographs, documentation, and I think crucially, what is probably I would imagine was a big part of their confirming their findings had to do with the bullet trajectory reconstruction and using kind of modern technology to validate the original findings. Let the experts do their job. They're, not that we should just blindly trust them, but if they're, they've not once but twice confirmed this result. And I'm sure, I can say as much as the public, I'm sure some of it has to do with, what, you can imagine like where a bullet trajectory would be coming from someone who fired the gun themselves versus someone else who fired it, or someone who tried to make it look like a suicide or something. I'm sure they are able to, to the extent that it's possible, to discern a lot of that. It's nice that they had, an independent evaluation done. And I'm from what I understand, I believe it was Anita Hunter. She was, very gracious and happy to have some closure. So it sounds like, it's just the system, did its job this time.